Ooh, I'm sorry. You're not pregnant, are you, Crystal? Well, I hope you haven't got that bug like I had here a week or two ago when it's been going around. One good thing about it doesn't last long. Well, I hate you feeling bad. Yeah, damn sinuses get to draining down your stomach, and they can do that to you. Don't want no white claw tonight, huh? But maybe you need to sleep, gal. When I'm sick in my stomach, I don't want nothing to do with nothing. Yeah, maybe that'll help a little bit. I've tried it with lemon juice. I never have tried lime. Mm. I don't drink mineral water. just the water coming out of this. I either boil my water for 4 or 5 minutes or uh, run it through that Berkeley. Hell, if you don't feel good, you don't feel good, girl. Mm. Boy, I hate when my stomach's messed up. That's like the other day. I hadn't ate any eggs probably in 6 or 8 months, and I had some in the ice box that I had bought to make some cornbread cook with. Thought, damn, I'm gonna boil a couple of them and see what happens. Oh my lord, that was not good. Cure me from eating eggs again for a while. Yeah, sometime I can get by with the boiled egg. That old cat. I had a long talk with my daughter yesterday, and 3/4 of the time I was in the hospital, I don't remember. And I knew one doctor told me something about me giving them a hard time. Well, I got talking to my doctor, I mean, my daughter, and she tells me that they had 7 people in there and couldn't settle me down. They gave me some morphine, and they should have known better than that. It was on my record. But anyway, they kept me in restraint for, I think, a day and a half. And I kicked a nurse plumb across the room, hit a doctor upside the jaw. So you don't never know if you get enough of that junk in your system. My daughter said, you were just pissed. I don't remember a bit of it. She said it's something to see somebody get mad and stay mad for 7 or 8 hours. And that's hilarious that I don't remember a bit of it. Makes you sort of feel like an idiot. Well, I appreciate it. Just sit back and take it easy, Crystal. Kat, you doing all right tonight? Um, Hello, Diane. Laura sent me a picture of me and Mark Wolf that other day and yesterday, and I didn't realize how losing that 50 something pounds, boy, I was rough looking all the time, but damn, I was bad rough looking then. What you been up to, Diane? Yeah, I guess so. I probably shouldn't have made that trip, but I done made up my mind I was going to. I didn't even know where I was at or what was going on, Diane. But let's tell somebody else. Mm. How much longer you got to go? What are you doing in the fridge? Is it that hot up there, Cat? Mm. Hello, Ronald. How you in Florida getting along? Mm. I opened a can of some kind of chicken and dumplings. Wasn't too bad. Ooh, that's a pretty good sized job, Ron. Okay, Crystal, you lay down and take it easy, gal. She don't sound like she feel good at all. Hell, like I said a while ago, long as you're not pregnant. They've got some nice paint jobs on them things, Ronald. They make them look pretty. You've been feeling bad for a few days anyway. Tell you what, tea's pretty good to settle your stomach down sometimes. Just watch that. Don't you get much worse, go to the doctor with it. Yeah, tea's pretty good about helping your stomach. Yeah, that's supposed to be good. I don't ever think to get ginger. That's like cinnamon supposed to be good for a lot of things, and I just keep forgetting to get any more. I'm run out of it. Forget to get any more of it. Ginger's supposed to be good for a lot of stuff. She said she didn't want no white claw or any other color claw tonight. Cat. Diane, my hands are big, and me and that phone don't get along as far as typing stuff into it. and it won't work on that voice to text. I need a phone about twice as big as that thing is. I looked at one of those phones that fold out. Woo, they proud of them things. $1,600. No, thank you. It's crazy. The dog is coming out of her shell. Now, every time I get to walk through the kitchen, she's in there on her hind feet dancing, wanting a treat. Well, these people that sit there and type with their thumbs, just boom, 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 boom. Well, of course, that's one thumb of mine. I couldn't do that at all, but I'd hit about 4 or 5 keys with my thumb. I guess so. She got where she puts the show on. Hello, Daniel. Oh, we all doing pretty good. How about you? Daniel's a man of few words, but he sure does show up. Uh-oh, well, did he get him an elk yet? Yeah, that's gotta help, Crystal. Wow, he had a hell of a trip. Well, can he hunt on those reservations in Colorado, or does that swap back and forth, or is he hunting on public land, or? You got some wintertime meat then. Oh, okay, that's great. Well, when he said he killed two, I sort of figured that. I was hunting in Colorado. I don't know, that's been 15 years ago, I guess. And I had a big bull coming in, and it just right on the, I forget which reservation it was. It's out of Wolf Creek Pass in that part of Colorado. And I could call that bull elk right up to that fence, but he wouldn't jump that fence and get out. And I was close to him. I was about 50 yards from him. He walked that fence for an hour, never would jump it. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if he knew or not, but he, I got a big kick out of watching him. I like to hunt. Killing part of it's not the part of hunting I enjoy the most. I enjoy watching more than anything else. That's some good eating. When I was up there in Indiana, of course, that's all cornfields up there. But about the time deer season starts, they cut that corn. I wish that was true for me. I love to bow hunt. I do that 99% of the time. But I'm colorblind and I have hell with that tracking. I have really got to work hard at it. Can't see. I can see colors, but like red and brown, they. I'm a good hunter, but the tracking part of it, a lot of people can outdo me on that. For about 25 years, I had a place over in East Texas, and I tagged out on 5 deer every year for 25 years over there. It was all bow hunting. I envy somebody that can see that blood like that. He shooting a regular bowcat or a compound, or you know? Yeah, I quit counting deer that I'd kill with a bow. It, we sat down and got to marking them down on a piece of paper one time, me and a friend of mine, and I quit counting at 120 something deer. Compound. I got an archery right when I first came back from Vietnam, and it was just getting started real good then again. Fred Bear and Howard Hill, and I got off into it, and it's something I never have got away from. I won't do it for a little bit, and then I'll go back to them. Ah, that's neat. I'd rather see somebody get one that ain't never got one than me get one. Hell, you shoot one, then the work starts. I don't know if I could walk them mountains again like I used to. I'm afraid if I went on an elk hunt now, it'd have to be a horseback hunt or something. I was in the army. I was a medic, Ron. Oh, that's neat. I am. Well, I was raised on deer meat. My dad hunted, and my mom hunted some, and she when she pulled the trigger on something, something was gonna die. But I never did get into the hunting really until I come back from service. I hunted, dove hunt and that kind of stuff. But hmm, well, I made my first tour in Vietnam, and I hated working at a hospital. And so I volunteered for another year. I, I still had another year to do. And so I volunteered for another year and stayed in Vietnam that other year where I could get out of working in a hospital. And so I stayed in Vietnam until I got out. They want you to re up. You got to be a different breed of cat to be a sniper. Where was he at when he was in the service, Cat? Stateside? Okay. Nothing wrong with that. Mine was simple. I went to Fort Polk to take boot camp and went to San Antonio for AIT, went to Vietnam. 82nd Airborne. Good night, Crystal. I hope you get to feeling better, girl. He served his time, though. That's the main thing. You're going to have to get your act together before long where you can get ready for quartzite, girl. Cat, do y'all eat a lot of buffalo? I know that I'm buffalo to buy some. Them big, hairy, fuzzy dudes. Yeah, I understand that. Fluffy cow meat, too, huh? Hello, Kenneth. Yeah, I appreciate it, Ron. I did just like 150,000 other guys did. As long as you didn't run, I had no problem with any of it. I'm not real politically correct. If somebody I get stirred up on something, and a friend of my wife's was a liberal all the way, and one day they were sitting there talking, and she said, "Yeah," I said, "Me and my husband have done made up our mind if they ever put the draft back in, we're gonna send both our boys to Canada." And he hit me wrong, and the I said, "Well, I don't have a problem at all with somebody running. They run to Canada, wherever they want to run to you. But I damn sure volunteer to shoot their ass if they tried to come back." Ooh, that was not politically correct, but that's the way I felt. There you go, Kenneth. Yeah, you see the way other people live, it makes a difference, doesn't it, Cat? Hello, Janice. I think Jimmy Carter was a pretty good man. I mean, personally, I think he was one of the better presidents as far as having any sense in any class about him. But the first day he was in office, he pardoned all the damn draft evaluators, and I wouldn't have voted for him after that on nothing for nothing. Hell, I need to shut up about that kind of stuff. I bet that made a lot of people unhappy, Kenneth. You keep up with basketball a lot, Kenneth. I got to watching that Caitlin Clark, the rookie that's in that women's basketball. Damn, that girl's something else. I'm not a big basketball fan, but she's. I get a kick out of watching her. Well, I'll tell you a little fact about these politicians in the United States. They, if you find out that they're 95% of the people in public office, senators and congressmen are lawyers, you got a law degree. That says a hell of a lot right there. You ever watch a women basketball? cat. I'm beginning to believe you're right. Have y'all been watching any of that Diddley and Taylor Swift and Jennifer Lopez, all that mess? You talk about some sorry ass damn folks now. Yeah, it's going to be interesting if nothing else. That cat. Yeah, you can get burned out on anything. Tell you what, it's going to be interesting here in Texas between Abbott and Trump on this border. Ooh, may be an interesting deal. Yeah, I hadn't. I played basketball when I was in high school. Then I pinched a nerve in my neck and got where every time I started to go up for a basket, I'd get a damn nerve would fire off in the back of my neck and back of my head and put me on my knees, and that ended my basketball. Come think of it, I haven't had that happen in 10 or 15 years now. I better shut up about it. They had another big bunch of illegals coming up in Mexico. And when Trump won, well, they disbanded and turned around and went back home. That old boy they put over the head of the border, now he tough. They let him alone. He'll clean that border up. I still enjoy watching rodeos, and I still like shooting that bow when I get around to it. I really enjoyed shooting. I got up where I was shooting for a couple of companies, well, several companies, wire companies and bow companies, and competing pretty high up. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, I've got friends of mine that got ranches down on that border, and it got so bad down there they wouldn't even go to the ranches anymore. You have some fat sharks. That'll make them sick. Now, golf is one I could not get into. My son, oh, golf and tennis. Now, he loves both of them. Next, especially this next coming year, political wise in the U.S., is going to be interesting. What did you do, Janet? That boy of mine is not built for golfing. I mean, for tennis at all. And he getting on. He getting a little age on him, and he still loves it. I never did care for it. Well, some people are just geared for sports, and some people aren't. Kind of. I always enjoyed sports I could be involved in. I wasn't much of a watcher. I did figure out one thing: the higher you get up in the sport, the more cutthroat it gets. I don't care what it is. You sound like my wife, Diane. Her dad was a pro in golf. He built golf courses. He built a new club. You gone, Ronald? Well, man, you have a good night. I appreciate you coming in. You got a good woman. That's sure a plus. Don't work too hard polishing that motorhome now. Well, not in football, but in a rodeo, that works for both sexes, Cat. When I was rodeoing some, I used to know a little old gal that she ran barrels all the time. And she was a pretty little old gal you ever saw, real small and dainty. You wouldn't think that she could have done anything. She got on the back of that damn horse and she was wild. I mean, she got every ounce out of her and the horse both. And they get off that horse and just quiet and petite again. Yeah. Yeah, I trained a few of them. The first horse I ever bought, Cat, and I was a teenager, was a half Tennessee Walker and a half quarter. And I kept that horse, and she could fly. And sold it to a little old gal, and that horse was 21 years old, and she was still winning barrel races off that damn mare. Last I heard from her. That Tennessee Walker mare, we could be working cattle, and she was a gated horse, and she'd just beat them regular horses to death. They'd either have to canter or go into that rough trot, and she'd be just smooth as silk, you know. Yeah, I don't care anything about riding them anymore, but I still think they're one of the prettiest animals out there. Made a lot of money off them things. People had taken, decided they wanted a horse, and they buy a high-blooded mare, had a list of papers as long as your arm. And after a year or two, well, they'd wind up and breed that mare and wind up with a little stud colt. And he was all pretty and fuzzy and playful when they was little. And get about 2 years old and just get meaner than hell. They just dump him out in the pasture. And they get to a while they couldn't handle him. They started getting really mean. And I got where I was buying those kind of stallions that were just wilder than hell and breaking them, training them, cutting them if they didn't have enough papers on them. And like I say, I made a lot of money off them old horses like that. Yeah, there's some good money in that rodeo track. I got a friend of mine raises bulls. I don't know how he's doing lately. He did pretty good there for a while. You're a trip, Janet. I don't know if I could ride a damn horse like I used to. I've got a muscle that's gone from my kneecap to my groin that you grip with. So I don't know if I could stay on one or not if it got a little raunchy. When we were working cattle on that friend of mine's ranch, he had a Mexican that worked for him that must have weighed 350. I mean, he was huge. And we were always on the lookout for some big geldings or something like that because he ride them about half a day and he had trade horses off. He was a good hand, but damn, he was big. You know, Percheron or a Clydesdale. Cat about 30 miles from me, there's a ranch, and it's where they retired those Budweiser Clydesdales to. I guess they're still doing it over there. Used to, they had 15 or 20 of them up out there, and they take good care of them even when they retire them. But they sure pretty run around the pasture out there. I haven't been over there in a long time. I guess they still do that. Cat, are y'all using John Deere tractors and stuff? Ooh, I was watching a deal on the John Deere tractors, and that's getting pretty bad when they claim these new ones, they got them set up to where you can't work on them. They lock you out of working on the damn thing. John Deere was always a little weird. I used to work on a lot of that kind of stuff. And John Deere bolts, you needed to buy them from John Deere, because if you needed a 2-inch, a John Deere bolt would be 2 1/8 inches long or 2 1/4 inches long. If you put a 2-inch bolt in it, it'd pull out. If you put a 2 1/2 inch bolt in it, it was too long and it bottom out. And used to have to keep a hacksaw when we were working on them John Deeres. You'd saw about 1/4 inch off one of them bolts. It worked in. Yeah. Hell, they got these damn tractors now that you don't even have to be in them. Get an old 40/20 John Deere. Them things run forever. Yeah. Isn't that the damn truth? Mike's a friend of mine, and he runs a fertilizer place. And that last spreader truck that he bought is computerized to where it'll change they putting liquid fertilizer out. It knows where in the field needs the most fertilizer, and it'll change the mixture up for different places in that field. I thought, oh Lord, they gonna come up with next. Massey Ferguson. They built tractors too, and a buddy had that big ranch. Well, they'd put nearly 20,000 acres of oats in every year for their stockers. And so they were running 12, 14-foot plows. And so I think they were running 20, 21 tractors just 7 days a week, and to get all that land plowed. But one of them old boys was on a Massey Ferguson, the only one of those they had, and was pulling a plow, and he looked back, and there was a damn coach whip crawled up on top of the plow. and he was watching him. And directly that coach whip went coming up those hydraulic lines. And instead of killing the tractor, he just jumped off. I don't know how the plow kept from running over him. But that they called me. I had to go out there and put a front end up back up under that massive because it had run across it went like 2 miles before it finally hit something. Plowed across a gravel road, through a couple of fences, and finally hit a telephone post and knocked the front end out from under. They had some massives, and then they had some tractors that were tougher than a boot. As Minneapolis Moline. It didn't seem many of them down here, but they were good tractors. In this country down here, it was the biggest brand was International Harvester on the tractors, and then second was John Deere. Yeah. Well, that telephone pole will do some damage when it's running full blast. That 1206 International was a hell of a tractor. They sold a jillion of them things. One day they called me and said, "Bring your big winch truck out here." And they had it was either a 1206 or 1406 International, and they'd run it off in a well, and the front wheel went in that well, and they'd try to jack that tire out of there and did everything in the world to get that tractor out of that well. They didn't want the boss man seeing it, so they called me, and I went out there and looked. Told them, I said, "All right, let me hook up this winch truck to it." I backed up and hooked that winch truck up to it and reached down there and pulled the valve core out the tire, and it went flat, and that thing just popped up out of the ground. Boom. That foreman, he said, "You get out of here and don't you dare tell nobody how easy you did that." Well, folks, we've been on here about an hour and 20 minutes. I think I'm going to call it a night. I appreciate y'all all coming in. I enjoyed it. And I hope everybody has a good night. And if Crystal's still listening, I hope you feel better, girl. Y'all have a great one.